Let's get into part 7, Addicted to Monsters, chapter 4, part 7. So we're talking about the house that my godparents allowed him to rent, and how, as a result of his fraudulent actions, one of his many fraudulent actions, most of them did not involve me. Most of them happened before me that I wound up reading on his record after I left him. Ladies, even when you, especially when you meet them in the church and all these places that make them seem to be such honorable men, I learned, run a background check. Because after him, I ran a check on everyone. And unfortunately, that doesn't always keep you safe, because 2 abusers after that did not have a background. One of them is a police officer. One of them I went to college with, but they were still abusers nonetheless. But it can still help circumvent some things. Run that history, run a background check, talk to their ex-girlfriends, talk to their ex-wives, look at their credit report, Google them and look up everything that you can. Look for, look for all the court cases with their name on it. You can run most of that stuff and find them in every courtroom all across the U.S. for free, or for like less than $50. And it's worth it because it's your life. I should have did that before I got with him. I did it afterwards, and I was like totally just, when I saw the things that he had been arrested for, and the things that he had gotten in trouble about before, there was a pattern there. This man is a fraud. He's a fraud. Even now, even with the business that he runs of doing photography and whatever else, there are complaints about his business because he is a fraud. And that's exactly what he was to me as well. I don't understand these type of people. I don't understand what their end game is to do the things that they do when these type of demonic people wreak havoc on your life. I still don't know what his end game was, but as soon as we got engaged and as soon as he was able to rent that house, this was his idea. He wanted to try to conceive right away. Right away. And he actually came up with the baby's name as well. And it was going to be this name, whether it was a boy or a girl. And he had a cousin around that time that also was, I think they were newly pregnant, and they were also naming their baby that. Actually, I think they came up with the name first, and then they discovered it was a boy. And we hoped for a girl, but we were TTC, trying to conceive, and we were going to name her or him Caden. And it's kind of cute, the first name plus his last name together. Like, it just had a nice little ring to it. So he named my daughter. And I mean, we were looking up, like the methods and everything. And it was to the point to where trying to conceive, there was nothing romantic about it. It was like, so like clinical. Like, I would keep my legs up on the wall. This was like serious business. And then we went to the Dallas Arboretum and had a photo shoot there, and he took some pictures of me, and he decided we were going to get married at the Arboretum. He went online and actually applied for the marriage license. So, there's some things that are and I'm kind of all over the place here. Obviously, we were still in this house when that happened. And then as this is happening, I'm also having those conversations with the godmom and thinking, oh, there's got to be, we're both kind of like, okay, maybe there's some explanation for this, let's give it some time. And I think he may have even sent a little bit of money. I'm not quite sure. I just know that he did not keep up his end of the bargain. He was not paying rent like he should have, and they wound up getting in trouble with the bank and actually having to evict us either at month 2 or 3. So all this stuff is happening. It's all happening so fast. And also, we've got the one car, and I'm having to drop him off at work, him dropping me off at work, just a lot. And the girls with the school and just lots of different things. I remember one night, my best friend calling me, and it's like 2-3 in the morning, and she was like, girl, what you doing? I was like, I'm in bed. She was like, with him? I was like, yeah. She said, bitch, get up, go to the bathroom. I'm thinking I'm about to get some really great juicy, like, I'm about to get the tea. I did not know that the tea was about to be me.
Y'all, I'm officially a YouTube partner, and I just launched memberships. Join my community for exclusive perks like behind-the-scenes content, custom badges, and shoutouts. Hit that join button and let's level up together, because we're just getting started, baby.
So I go to the bathroom. She was like, I am just finishing up this rehearsal, girl. Bitch. Now, this is how we talk back then, so it is what it is. So she was like, the drummer, he was like, hey, isn't Nikki Boo Boo, isn't that your best friend? That's your girl, right? And she was like, yeah, why? And he was like, I think I think she's engaged to my uncle. And he said who his uncle was, and she was like, yeah, that's who she's with. He was like, man, we gotta talk. So he broke it down to her. And he was like, man, you got to talk to your girl, man. I can't let it go down like that. You got to talk to your girl because my uncle is not who she thinks he is. So she went on to tell him that he's not a good guy. Apparently he has a reputation for being a liar and I don't know what else. And that he is married. So this woman that I've been around is still his wife. Why would you lie about that? How are you going to apply? He applied and showed me. Matter of fact, I think I still have the receipt in my email. He applied for a marriage license in the state of Texas with me, but he's still married. Like how, which is probably why he was stalling and taking his time with all the plans and stuff. But my thing is, how were you going to pull that off? Were you just going to go ahead and just get another marriage, like sign the marriage license and just hope that it didn't like bounce back and say this is not valid or something? I don't really know. Like I thought it was illegal to like be married twice. Isn't that illegal? But yeah, he really did. Like, so I remember the next day we're at his mama's house, which at the time I'm still thinking it's his, and we're hanging out and everything. It's like pool parties and barbecues all summer and all that stuff. And I said to him, I forgot how I put it, but I tried to make it to where I was not being confrontational. I remember that. And I found some way to ask him, I want to see your divorce decree. And he said, I can't find it. It's been a long time. And I said, but we're about to get married. And I just want to make sure that we have all of our paperwork in a row. You know how I file everything. I keep everything on file. I have a copy of our whatchamacallit. And I was like, they may ask me for a copy of my divorce decree. I have mine. I want to have yours with mine. I just want to make sure all of our, ducks are covered. I mean, all of our, ducks are in a row or, bases are covered. And he got very frustrated again. And he got really agitated. And he just wanted to know, like, why do you need to have it? Why do you need to have it right now? And he kind of like escalated it. And I'm like, okay, well, if you're going to put it like that, are you lying? Like, is that, I was like, at this point, like the way you behave when I ask you questions, it's really getting on my nerves. So now I'm getting a little huffy with him. And I'm like, it makes it seem like you got something to hide. You got something to hide? And he was like, I'll find it. And I was like, where? No, he said he couldn't find it or something. And I said, well, you need to find it. So he was like, it's in the attic or something. He's got to go all through the attic up there with all that stuff and his mom's stuff. And I said, fine, I'll wait. When I tell you that man moseyed around the house for hours. And then he came back to me and said he couldn't find it. I said, okay, then fine. Let's go online because it's public records. Look it up online and find it. He went on the computer, moseyed around, couldn't find it. I went online and I looked and I saw a record of their marriage. I never saw a record of their divorce. And plus, why would his nephew make that up? Like, that's insane. So I remember asking his sister-in-law later on about it. And she said, yes, he's still married to her. And my thing to her is, you knew all this stuff. Why would you sit there and she's friends with his wife. His wife was laughing at me every time she saw me because she knew that we were engaged, but that she was still his wife. Bitch, you let my daughter come to your house with having sleepovers, being all cool and everything else. These people are a little over a decade older than me. Why wouldn't you say something to me? Why wouldn't you try to help save me from the train wreck that I'm about to be put through? And why wouldn't you tell me that he's really not as good as a father as he appears to be and that I think he is? Because he's always coming to get his daughter from you and taking her to church every Sunday. But that's the extent of everything that he does. Yeah, I was out there looking crazy. So I kept asking him that day. He never produced it. And I think that's when things quickly went downhill for me. And I lost all confidence in him. And now I can't stand him. And then I'm also like feeling like I'm stuck. Like I'm disgusted.